Welcome to the Tamworth FC Social, the podcast about the club which took Premier League Spurs to extra time in the FA Cup. I'm Jonathan and I'm joined by Brett and Graham. Well, you've both, in your time, seen some big Tamworth matches, haven't you? Where does this one rank for you, Graham?
Top of the list. I said it to you both on Sunday. Yeah, I'll never forget it. I'll never, ever, ever forget it. It's probably the best football match I've been to in my whole life. I'm going to put it out there. It is just for what it was on the occasion and the amount of times we were saying, can't believe how well they're playing. We can't believe this. We can't believe this. I was looking at the game in 5-minute blocks, panicking to myself. Oh, it was just crazy. I probably had a hangover from the Sunday to the Monday in terms of how I was feeling about the game. I know Brett's felt the same as well. And yourself, John. It is, yeah, such a weird feeling waking up on Monday just thinking, well, all the way back home Sunday, I was like, how have we not won that? We had that opportunity, and that's what I'm feeling like. Then the players, I'm sure they probably felt even, yeah, probably all of those feelings. But yeah, what a performance from that whole team. They upped their levels and they brought down Tottenham a peg or two. Yeah, just monumental day for the club. And yeah, it was just brilliant. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to go on too much or let Brett have his say on it. So we could talk more. But yeah, what a fantastic day for the football club and obviously the recognition that we've got afterwards across national media. I mean, it's been absolutely everywhere. I've never seen anything like it, and I think it's great because I suppose we've put non-league football on the map as well, and that's brilliant. It's really really good, and I hope that people take note of that in this country as well.
Feels to me, Brett, like a slightly bittersweet day in the end because Tamworth did come so close in the end to winning it in the 90 minutes, and it's probably one of the proudest days as a fan of the club, I would imagine.
It's the proudest day of being a fan of the club for me. I think all the way home, all I could think about was just that chance at the end of the 90 minutes, just thinking how different it really could have been. But it's a time to reflect as well and just think about how well the club did to put that game on, the amount of work that went on behind the scenes to get the Lamb in the place that it was, all the effort from the volunteers the day before, everything, the togetherness of the squad all the way through from Macclesfield all the way throughout. I listened to 606 on the way home, and you've got Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton talking about it on national radio, all in the national newspapers. The amount that has done for the stature of the town, the club, the players, the officials, everything really. Us at the podcast, we've all between us done some different appearances on various different pieces. John, you did that piece for the podcast in New York. It's something for everybody to cherish, and I think over the years, we're so lucky that we've had this occasion to mark what's been a real special period of the club under Andy Peakes. For all the years in between Marcus Law to Andy Peakes, for anyone who's stuck with the club through that period of time, then to this, it's a real special time. And I think for everyone who's been been there for this meteoric rise back from the depths, really, it's just something that you should never forget. And I can't put into words just how proud I am of everyone involved and just how proud I am to be a fan of Tamworth Football Club.
I think what kind of caught me by surprise a little bit during the game was how quickly Tamworth came out of the blocks. Like it was within the first minute, I think, wasn't it, when Beck-Ray had that run forward and made the Spurs keeper make a save, and then kind of I guess that almost set the tone then, didn't it, for what came afterwards? Maybe settled a bit of nerves amongst the crowd, certainly, because I feel after that it was like, oh, this is how it's going to be, and then is it today? We're going to have a good go. And I thought as well, Graham, there was numerous Tamworth players who would have been worthy candidates for man of the match as well. I know Hayden Hollis got it from the TV broadcast in the end, but like Beck-Ray would have been a worthy one for me. Ben Milnes, I thought on a day where the midfield was so key. He always made the right decision where it was whether it's to keep possession, make a pass, or just to get it away. And then Jazz Singh as well. Like how many times during that game did he come up with a fantastic save? And there's one I think when Timo Werner was clean through and Jazz Singh saves it. Like a Champions League winner, he's made a save in a one-on-one.
Yeah, unbelievable performance from so many of those players on the pitch. It was unbelievable how we started. I felt like Beck-Ray played the game of his life, and he wanted to go out there and I suppose show the world what he was all about. And he's certainly done that. He's certainly got a lot of recognition all over the socials, and I mean, fair play to him. He completely, he had the Spurs defenders on toast for most of the game. He was absolutely brilliant. You'd think that he was the Premier League player, but I think the defence was absolutely rock solid. Cullinane-Liburd and obviously Hollis, so you say got man of the match, were superb at the back. Obviously Spurs had chances, but they're going to have chances. These are players that are the highest level of football. They're paid huge amounts of money. They train in the best facilities. We held these guys for 90 odd minutes and a little bit more. And yeah, it just keeps going back to the fact that we had those two chances right at the end. I think especially the Cullinane-Liburd one where he just sort of pokes it and the keeper saves. If that was any harder, it's probably going in the back of the net. And that's game over. I don't think there'd have been a way back for Spurs at that point because he was literally right at the last minute. And I think what's really interesting is that we kept saying Spurs don't look that great. And we made them not look that great. These are the top cream of the crop of players. And we were absolutely magnificent, really. And yeah, I just, it's just a shame that we just couldn't quite, just get that finishing touch. But I feel like we turned it into a National League game. We played the same way as we do in National League. No fear, a lot of spirit, really direct, hit on the counter. It's not always pretty at times, but that's how we play, and it's effective, and we win games. And I honestly thought we were going to grab a winner, just like we've done in some of these league games. We've got an equaliser or a winner or whatever in the last minute. So yeah, it was just speechless really a little bit in some ways. I think all the players were magnificent. There was barely a foot wrong. Yeah, can't even the subs coming on as well. Everybody just played their part. They all have the same mentality.
I was about to say I thought the subs that came on were really strong as well. Like or I don't know, it was almost like it dawned on me like, God, Tamworth have got a really good squad here. Like these are all players coming on who can affect the game and maybe just give Tamworth the extra oomph to try and get something in extra time. And um, Monash and Deary, I thought coming on and playing at left back like that would have been a pretty daunting task. I imagine when everyone else is up to speed in the game. I don't think he's played left back for Tamworth before. Like he's played right back, hasn't he? But he is a centre mid
Yeah.
normally. Um,
Mm. Mm.
just yeah, and like I was going back to what Graham was saying, Brett. Like Tamworth did play like how they would normally play, which I think is a really good decision, obviously, and they played some really good football at times, knocking it about really well.
Yeah, they did, and that was exactly what I knew they were going to do anyway. Because I think you'd probably come to expect absolutely nothing less from an Andy Peake side at home and with this group of players. But what I was even more impressed with is the fact that there were a couple of occasions, where we mixed it up. There were a couple of occasions where you were expecting a direct Tom Tonks long throw to go in the box, and it didn't, and they went short. Um, there were a couple of occasions where just stopped spraying out onto the wings. We were trying to get it down and play. We were trying to mix the play up. There was a couple of occasions where I thought Jazz was probably better suited punting it up and going route one, and then he didn't. He passed it out to the right back, who then moved it out, switched it across to the left. They were running at defenders. If anything, really, they matched Tottenham at their own game too, as well as we played our own game and forced Tottenham to play that way in the end as well. Let's not forget that in the end, Tottenham were going direct against us, but then equally, we dared to try and match Tottenham at their own game, and fair play. Because Tottenham wouldn't have been expecting that. From all the videos they would have watched from us, they would not have seen that from us.
Intrigued, like where we would rank Spurs, because we were saying during the game, weren't we? Like Spurs have looked like, and you said it earlier, looked like a National League side in some ways. Like I almost thought, Graham, like Barnet were probably a more formidable opponent in some respects, as strange as that is.
Yeah, I mean, I think playing at home, we just we fancy ourselves against anybody, and yeah, to me, like we'd seen better teams this season. Seen New York City, and then you went to Barnet and John, and I thought they were better on the day than Spurs were. I'd arguably say that even some of the games at home that seen this season with some of the passing teams again when York were at home as well. York were at the Lamb, so I say again they looked a very very good side and caused us more problems probably than Spurs did. Um, I think we just we kept them at bay. It was only in certain situations. I guess the fitness levels came in and they brought on Sun and some of their other star players like Solanke that yeah, it became a bit more of an issue for us. But I mean, yeah, we put absolutely everything into it, didn't we? So it is a one off in that sense. But yeah, I mean, on the face of it, I think we definitely seen better sides down the line this season.
We've all said since the draw came out, as well as the fact that we would have ended up playing the Villa at Villa Park. Oh, what a dream come true that would have been for probably over 60-70% of Tamworth fans. And what a game for the area as well. Everyone in the town could have got behind that, whether you were Blues, Baggies, Wolves, Villa, Man United, any kind of fan, you could have got behind that game.
One last question from me for you both on the Spurs game. If Tamworth were to finish like where they are now in the league, which is 16th, would that be the greatest ever season for you, given the cup run in the FA Cup and guess the trophy as well? It probably went a bit further in that than expected as well. Because I think we said last season when we did our episode about the greatest season, we sort of went for 23, 24, didn't we? Would this eclipse that for you, Graham?
Think so, yeah. I think it probably would do. I mean, like I said, the Spurs games. I'll never forget that. I mean, it is a one-off, but I'll still never forget it. It was the best. I'll say it was the best football match I've ever been to. I've said it twice now, just for what it was. Um, it was brilliant. Um, and I think for us to stay in the league with kind of what we are at the moment, as we are a part-time club, we do train twice a week against what the National League is these days compared to when we were last in it, when there was quite a lot more part-time clubs. Then yeah, I'd say this is probably like the best season I've witnessed. It has to be for all those different reasons, the FA Cup run, and then just some some fantastic results that we've been getting in this league, where it's effectively now like another League Two. We were only playing in Southern League Central 2 seasons ago against village teams at times. The journey this club's been on, it just keeps on getting better. So Yeah, I don't think you can really top this season, though.
Tamworth still have got a lot of football to play in the National League, of course, but it is looking good in terms of where they're placed at the moment. Would you agree with Graham Brett?
Yes, I don't know how you could say any other. I know you got the Vase for 89 and the Trophy 2002, but they won't compete with Spurs at home on the national TV, money spinning amount of coverage, all that what that has then bought for the town and the fans as a whole. Because obviously back with the Wembley days in '89, there was no social media. There was none of this multi-country beaming across different platforms. So while it was a fantastic occasion for the people of Tamworth, if you didn't live in Tamworth or knew somebody who lived in Tamworth or who was connected to the football club, that that event probably passed you by. Whereas Sunday touched all four corners of the globe, and you've got to think, just as an example, none of us three live in the town, and the amount of connection and excitement that we felt on the back of that, and the stuff that we did, for like again for various different media outlets covering the game. Um, this really, as I've already said, this really was something for absolutely everybody, but everybody everywhere. So, added with the fact that the National League this time is essentially really Football League Three. When we were in the conference the first time, we had ex-pros in that team. We had bloody Bob Taylor playing for us at one point, so arguably we were set up and armed much better for this kind of division and these kind of games than we are now. We've got no right to be where we are in the league. We've got no right to be playing Tottenham at home in the FA Cup on the third round after beating two League One sides. But we've done it and we keep doing it. And I've got no doubt that we're going to keep on doing it.
This weekend, then for Tamworth, is a home match against Boston United. They are the National League's second lowest scorers, and they are in a relegation battle. I wonder, Brett, if this one will be for Tamworth about, maintaining a level after a very physically and emotionally draining occasion on Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully this isn't a bit like after the Lord Mayor's show. Like some people accused the Ebbsfleet game of being after Huddersfield. But it's going to be really hard, isn't it, for the players? I think it is going to be really, really tough. They've got to have gone from playing at a packed out Lamb to I probably can imagine at best there'll probably be 15, 1600. And you can forget about this constant debate about getting people through the gate and keeping attendances up and this, that, and the other. But the reality is people are attracted to big clubs and big players. Even if it adds on a couple of hundred to the gate, the reality is it's just not going to compare. However, that said, I do still think, and it's really, really important that we do, I do still think that we'll have enough to seal off. I think that both the league games in January, because we've not got many we've literally got two league games in January. I think it's really, really important if we can that we do beat both of them because it is obviously two teams who are below us in the league. And because we've got a few games in hand, and once you get to February, we're essentially playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. It's really important that we keep picking up points when when the better opportunities arrive.
Boston are on a better run than their league position would suggest, Graham. They have got through several rounds of the FA Trophy. They beat Gateshead in round four earlier this month. So I wonder if this might be a trickier game that looks on paper and probably similar to the return fixture at the start of the season. Like that would prove to be a tough game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for Tamworth. No doubt about that. It's just like every game is in this league. They had quite a disappointing result last Saturday at home to Ebbsfleet, which probably knocks their confidence a little bit. They were winning 2-1 and then clawed back to 2-2. So they're in a real scrap down there. But they'll be seeing this as one of the winnable games, without a doubt. I mean, we're kind of at the we're a bit ahead of that kind of relegation pack, aren't we? With games in hand as well, so they're going to be well up for it. I think this group of players is always it's got a very, very good mindset, so I've got no doubt that they will come into that game and hopefully just keep and carry on the momentum from the Spurs game. Um, so yeah, I mean, let's just hope it's not a come down from that. Hopefully there'll be a decentish crowd. I'm sure Boston will bring a fair few 'cause it's not too far away, and there's a lot at stake for them. And yeah, we can get a good result. I mean, if we can get 3 points on Saturday, then we're sort of probably going to be etching into mid-table, depending on other results. I mean, a lot of the clubs that are below us are just not getting results. To be perfectly honest, so we just need to do our bit now and get that's the bread and butter of the league and get some points on the board.
Right, let's do our Boston United predictions then. And a reminder, in our mini league, it's 1 point for the correct result, 3 points for a correct scoreline. We have a couple of previous results to go over. So, starting with the 1-0 defeat to Sutton in the FA Trophy, Graham and I both predicted the result, but not the score. So, a point each for us there. Spurs, I am going to give Brett the 3 points, as you said, 0-0. I can't quite remember what rule I said for if it goes to extra time, but I'll give you the 3 points for that. And what that means is I go to 28 points, Graham is on 15, and Brett closes a gap of sorts as he moves up to 13. It's a bit of a fight for the wooden spoon between you both, I'm sad to say at the moment. Brett, would you like to give your Boston prediction first?
Yeah, I think Tamworth will win it 1-0. I think Boston, they're not scoring goals. They couldn't see off Ebbsfleet in a crunch match for them last weekend. I just, I can't see them getting the better of us, to be honest.
I am going to go for 2-0 Tamworth. Similar reasoning, really. I'd like to think, the chances at Tamworth creating on Sunday, hopefully they can bring some of that into this game and, get a few goals to show for it as well. What about you, Graham?
I was also going to go for 2-0, but I will go for a different scoreline just to keep it front. I will actually be really bold and I'll go 3-0. Just similar reasons. Also really struggling. I think we will get the mindset right, definitely, because it's that group of players they just step up to the plate every time. And I think we'll put them to the sword if we play as half as well as we did against Spurs on Sunday. So yeah, I think there's a lot at stake in that game. It can really make a difference for us. So and put some distance between us and them as well. So I think we'll be up for it and come out of the blocks fast. And yeah, I would have said 2-0, but I'll go 3-0.
That's all for this episode of the Tamworth FC Social podcast. Thank you for listening. You can follow us on social media at TFC Social Pod. If you enjoyed the podcast, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and give this episode a like. Until next time, goodbye.